I missed never going to a museum in my first 16 years.
Probably hanging out with my grandmother on our farm and eating Sunday dinner. She made Sunday dinner every single Sunday for easily 60 years for everybody that worked on the farm and our family. And she died last year, so haven't really had a reason to get back home. But she was the matriarch of the family, and so we all kind of socialized and got together through eating dinner together. It was like the one time we could just hang out.
What I might miss most is the neighborhoods. When we were young, we would just all be out together, all the neighborhood kids, and my mom or somebody would just yell out, "Time to eat!" and we would just come running, but we just did everything with the neighbor kids. And here, when my kids grew up, everything, you have to get in the car, which is okay, but it was just really, that felt like home.
My particular home, I miss the potato chips in there. Here it's more like organic stuff, so nothing. I miss like the junk food aspect of home.
I used to like beef stew a lot, and my mother would cook it, but she's no longer around, so I don't get any more good beef stew.
I guess I would miss late nights with my younger sisters when we would just stay up and talk and just laugh about silly things. Yeah, the memory of that.
I was being at the dinner table with my whole family, my dad and my brothers and sisters. There's 7 of us. So we would do that. I mean, even though we didn't have a lot of food, it was like this, like staples of beans and rice, But that being home at that nighttime, when Dad came home and we were all at the table, and after that we never spent breakfast together, or no, but at dinner time when my mom served dinner, you know what I'm saying? Everybody was together and we would talk about stuff and be fights and stuff, arguing. My dad I miss just being there with the family. You don't see that anymore. So.
Right, I actually miss my mother and father and the way my mom used to always cook, and we all was a big family. I had 10 brothers and sisters, so we really enjoyed eating together and being a family.
So sorry, I started over again. The thing that I miss most is like the feeling when you get home and like my parents are at home and we like sit at the table and you have dinner or lunch together. Just like the general coming home feeling. It's sort of like it smells like it's home. It's like, basically that.
Yeah, the most thing I miss is all the animals because I grew up on a farm. So to be with cats and not just cats, cows, and just also couldn't go out all the time and play with them or be with them.
Eve was always fun because we would go to midnight mass, and when we came home from mass, Santa Claus would supposedly have been there while we were at church. So we would open our presents late at night and have a big Christmas breakfast, and that way our parents could sleep in the morning.
My favorite is an oral remembrance of the flowers around our home. This time of year we would have lilacs and what we called snowballs. They were just big white fluffy things. And my dad just loved fragrance flowers. So that's my
the thing that I miss most about home is kind of the warmth of the people and how they get together sometimes to celebrate things and how they can drop at your house at any time and you can do things together, and so it's kind of that informality and kind of the depth of the experience itself. I find that it is something that I really miss about home.
This is a short trip, so it's just a little getaway. We're from New Mexico, but I guess what I miss most is my dogs. Yeah, I have my daughter taking care of them, but it's hard to see people with their dogs and not have one of your own.
So what I miss the most about my hometown is the Four Corners area, where you have the mountains on one side, the canyons on the other, and lots of wildlife.
freedom. Is after a long day at the beach, going to a sandwich shop called Board and Brew and getting a turkey avocado sandwich. And I miss Sunday early afternoons, evenings with my family. We'd always do like a happy hour and cook spaghetti and sauce and tons of yummy food on Sundays and get together as a family. So that's probably the main thing I miss.
I think the thing I miss most about my childhood growing up was I lived 2 houses down from this pond, and we knew the lady who owned the pond, and she would kind of be a neighbor, I suppose. And there's this little path that you could take from our backyard through the woods that we had beaten down from so many trips. And we'd go to this pond and we would swim and we'd catch frogs and we'd canoe. And that's where like my babysitter would bring me in the summer when my parents were at work, and or we would go on the weekends, and it was just like our little getaway. And we didn't have anything like that in my yard, but fortunate enough to.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what is the thing you miss the most?
My mother, I said.
Oh.
My family member. Alright? And my son.
Yeah.
So I really missed when I go through the walk side. In my country, they have smaller blocks. It's like that. So when you go and counting, like if I go for 1 minute, like 10 that squares, it happens that and that. So I miss that because in my childhood I always was counting, and if I go now like for 5 seconds, 3 blocks, I will be, I don't know, I will get a lollipop or something like that. Yeah, so I miss that.
What I miss the most is the smell of the onion fields after the harvest. In the Sacramento Valley on a hot summer August night, you know, it's like 80 degrees and the tractors are gone, and there's just like a light haze and a really robust smell of the ripe onions in the fields. It's amazing. That's it.
The thing I miss about home would probably be my first dog, who was a Cocker Spaniel, and her name was Cookie. And she was very, very sweet. I remember playing out in the yard with her a lot and just enjoying being a little kid with her.
The thing I miss most about home is being able to sit and relax and listen to records and just relax and chill out.
What kind of records?
Punk records, hardcore records, classic country like Hank Williams, and old folk stuff like Woody Guthrie and Johnny Cash, and just relaxing and kind of mellowing out and being in my own headspace for a little while.
What I miss most about home is our staircase kind of had like a Harry Potter situation going on with like this little like cozy cubby thing underneath the staircase. So I miss hanging out in there with my brothers.
Home is my parents just got a puppy and she goes freaking crazy. Like Marcy, I see her, she jumps onto me a lot, so I kind of miss her hugs a lot. He's better. I like his answer.
So I'm from Hawaii.
Wow.
And probably what I miss the most about Hawaii is the family and my friends and just everybody's family.
Okay, what I miss is southwestern New Mexico green chili and red chili because it's spicy like no other flavor that I grew up with, and it makes me happy all over, and the flavor's delicious, and I always associate it with my grandmother.
Well, I guess I could say my brother, my autistic brother, without being around his like imagination and everything. It just makes me feel kind of empty, but when I see him, it's like I feel full again. I don't know. I do, like, that's the thing that reminds me of home.
I would have to say I used to live next door to my aunt and my cousins growing up, and we had in our backyard we had a little gate that would connect our 2 backyards, and we used to have a pool, and they would have a rope swing, and I missed summer days with them hanging out.
I really miss my dog Elmo. He was a boxer that I had until like 6 years ago. He passed away, but I basically grew up with him, and he was like my best friend. I miss him a lot.
Well, I'm from Brooklyn, New York, and I think the biggest thing I miss is the artistry and diversity of that. Specifically, you can walk down the street and see people dancing, doing their thing, and also graffiti work, and just like so much beautiful diversity expression through their artwork.
You know, I'm from Miami, Florida. What I miss most is probably South Beach and the beach side. Going there, kicking it with my friends all day during the summer, and you know, just having not to worry about anything, having food and having everybody there.
I'm from Indianapolis, Indiana, and what a lot of me and like my boys would do, we would go to this we had this park, and we would play basketball a lot over there. Just where I grew up with my boys, just like grew up here. And then after a while, maybe we smoked there and everything, you know what I'm saying? Just like things we do as boys. And then after a while, the cops took down the courts, took down the rims of it, so we never played basketball there because there were a lot of fights and stuff like that. But honestly, that's probably what like the memories, like where I grew up, I built a lot of my foundation.